Waiting for the recording in progress. Good evening and welcome to the November 7th meeting of the Fitchburg City Council's Finance Committee. I now call this meeting to order. Please be advised that FATV is conducting audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I would ask that, for the record, there is no one in the audience recording. At this time, I would ask that all electronic devices be placed into silent mode. Members present this evening, Councilors Walsh and Cruz, and myself, President Zarella, chairing in lieu of Councilor Di Natale. We have 7 items on the agenda this evening. And I will also note for the record, there is no one here for public comment. First item on the agenda, 185-24. The City of Fitchburg hereby raise and appropriate the sum of $645,000, crediting the school department expenses for the purpose of funding a shortfall in fiscal year 24 net school spending requirement. That's you. Come on up.
Sorry. Still have the ID on.
Oh, no problem.
Jeremy Roach, Assistant Superintendent, Fitchburg Public Schools. Finance and operations is this aspect of the role. I can certainly talk about it or field questions, whatever's most appropriate.
If you have a summary you'd like to give, you can do that, and then we'll take questions. Otherwise, I'll just open it up for questions.
Yeah, so for FY24, I'll give a little background, and I know I was here at the end of the spring before the end of the actual fiscal year. A little bit about this topic as well. For FY24, the Fitchburg Public Schools had entered into one-year contract for transportation because we wanted to align all of our bus contracts. So we have really 3, and if you can look at it, 4 different forms of transportation. There's the regular yellow school buses. Then there's special ed vans that would be for in-district, so the student attends one of the 8 schools, but their transportation is provided by a van. Or there's vans, or they might be even smaller buses, like the 14-seaters that would transport students for out-of-district placements as well. And then there's even McKinney-Vento, so homeless students and transportation costs. So for us, what we had was we saw escalating costs in the one-year contract. We saw increases related to unforeseen enrollments, so we have requirements for students with a IEP, and we have to fulfill that. So if we enroll someone who needs to be transported to an out-of-district placement, a school that can service their particular learning disability, then we absolutely must do that. And in addition, we saw some significant increases as well in some of the McKinney-Vento costs, like almost twice what we had budgeted. So with the way that net school spending works, I'll just use flat, even numbers. It's actually pretty close to the FY25 budget. So if a district has a $100 million net school spending requirement, and $75 million comes from the state and $25 from the municipality, that's actually not too far off from what it is. Indirect costs are part of that $100 million, so that's retirement, that's different things that are related to employee contributions for insurance, et cetera. Anything, so the other factors, so that makes up your $100 million, and in addition to all the things that would run the school, the teacher salaries, the supplies, the materials that go into a school operation. Above that is transportation. And transportation is a municipal requirement. And so you just take that $100 million, and then if your transportation is $6 million budgeted, but it comes in at $7, we're paying, the school pays the invoices month to month. Every time we pay one of those invoices, it essentially comes off that $100 million, which is the net school spending requirement. And at a certain point, the city or the town, whatever it is, then has to come up to meet net school spending. So the letters would come from the Department of Ed, or just internal auditing mechanisms would see that. So when we budgeted for transportation in FY24, we budgeted at about $6.34 million, end up being about $8 million. So that's a significant increase that the city bore. And again, much of that was unforeseen, in terms of the types of challenges that I mentioned. I think as we move into FY25, we're in a much better place as we've done our projections. I will say, you can do a Google search on it now. Transportation costs for schools are really challenging. It's a significant challenge, and Fitchburg is by far not the only one that addresses that. I hope that's a quick summary. That wasn't very quick, I apologize, but glad to answer any questions as well.
Quick enough.
Councilor Walsh, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Roach, so this $645,000 isn't going to necessarily, it's not going to pay for transportation. It's to offset what you've, because net school spending isn't, transportation is not.
It does not count towards it. So again, the $100 million, that's your requirement as a community. That's meeting what's referred to as net school spending, your foundation budget. Transportation is in and above that.
Okay. So
say it's $6 million, which is roughly what it was. If it goes above what we project, and you have to project in April, for the following entirety of that next school year, if it goes above that, we manage the costs of it at the school site. We're paying those invoices, but every time we do that, it essentially brings the $100 million down. Say we're over 100,000 one month. We're now at 99,900,000. So we're 100,000 short on net school spending. Another month comes in, 100,000 over. Now we're at 99.8. We're 200,000 under. So the requirement by the state, it catches up later. So we're still catching up for FY24 because we do things like the end of year report. That was just submitted for FY24. It's an ultra detailed, all of these transportation and various other programmatic elements of the schools are audited every year. External auditor, Heath and Melanson and Heath, I believe, is the one that does Fitchburg schools. Every single invoice, all the materials, everything is provided so that they review that and can, give us feedback too if we need to make some changes. Did that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay. It is tricky. There's no question.
Yeah.
So basically, our net school spending is in the red because you had to cannibalize it for the transportation costs.
Yeah.
And so we're just filling it back up to the point where we're even.
Yeah.
And net school spending is a hard and fast requirement by Department of Ed. If you don't meet it, they start these penalty phases in districts. So you have to meet it even from the previous fiscal year.
Fair enough.
President Zarella's clarification helped. Thank you.
Thank you. You explained it better than me.
No problem. Hey, only because you explained it well in the first place.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I didn't know it until you told me. So, Councilor Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for coming in, Mr.
Of course.
I know we weren't able to get this done yesterday. So for the public's, we have to, this is a requirement. This is a mandatory
100%.
Department of Education requirement.
Yeah, first we have to transport children, and secondly, we have to meet net school spending. And third, transportation costs, which is not part of the net school spending, that cost is borne by the community, the city. Regional districts get quite a bit of reimbursement, but a city like Fitchburg or a single town entity does not.
Okay.
This is kind of not related, but what is the average spend on per student in Fitchburg public schools?
Last year was for fiscal year FY25, $17,900.
Almost $18,000 per student.
We should have a good projection on the FY26 foundation budget net school spending requirement. I would say in the next month, because the two biggest factors for us is what is our enrollment, and we certify that for the October student information management process with Department of Ed. And then the one that we have to speculate a bit about is what will the Department of Ed set as the inflation rate for the rates that we then multiply our enrollment by to get the number of, 105 million or whatever it will be. 120, I hope, something like that.
Thank you. And Auditor Crone, is it the stall of not passing this yesterday, is that going to create issues for our tax classifications?
It's just going to postpone the ability to get the tax rate set. But hopefully, we'll get it in as soon as possible and in time to get the tax bills out at the end of December.
Thank you, Chair. I yield the floor.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve 185-24.
Second.
I have a motion and second. If there is no objection, it is unanimous.
I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
186-24, that there be and hereby is appropriated the sum of $11,134.30, same to be charged against reserve for appropriation TNC per ride assessment, and credit to DPW capital expenses street repair for the purpose of road repaving. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I can speak to that. This is just an annual appropriation of funds that were received during fiscal 24. It's an assessment on Uber and Lyft rides. So each one of those is sort of a surtax, and that sum is given back to the city to appropriate however it wants. And Commissioner Erickson has been historically crediting this, to the paving program.
Councilor Boschman?
Do we have to use the money right away, the $11,000? Can we put it and save it every other year? Every year?
Well, it goes into it gets added to his paving funds, and if needed, it can be encumbered and used, for a future project. So in a sense, it is saved.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Because the $11,000 doesn't cover all.
No, it's combined
does it
with
go
all the
from year
other
to year?
larger sums, yeah.
From me to you, Paul.
I don't think it goes that
That would be a skim coat, I think.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Motion to approve? Oh,
Councilor Cruz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do we know what it costs per mile still? I think it was right around $800,000 to pave a mile of road in the city. Is it?
I think it's over $1 million now.
It's over $1 million now?
Yeah.
Yield the floor.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. If there is no objection, it is unanimous. 187-24, City of Fitchburg hereby approves the expenditure of funds from Massachusetts Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Program Action Grant for nature-based solutions for a resilient Coolidge Park. Okay. In the approximate amount of $323,160 to help mitigate flooding impacts by increasing stormwater storage, recharge, and water quality.
I can read the letter.
Go right ahead.
We have a letter here from Commissioner Erickson explaining that this grant builds upon concepts identified during the Baker Brook-Falula Brook watershed study in fiscal 22 that will help mitigate flooding impacts by increasing stormwater storage, recharge, and water quality. The project will lead to the development of 3 designs, including 1, a floodable field that provides additional storage for Falula Brook while maintaining its recreational use, 2, permeable parking lot with bio-retention collecting stormwater from John Fitch Highway, and 3, a redesign of the Wallace Civic Center parking lot with stormwater BMPs, which I'm sorry, I don't know what they are, to manage runoff before it reaches Falula Brook. These projects, in concert with other ongoing initiatives in Fitchburg, will generate greater climate resiliency for the community along the John Fitch Highway corridor. As part of the redevelopment and designs, the project team will utilize their network of STEM program coordinators and volunteers to facilitate site walks and workshops with community groups and Fitchburg High School students. The workshops will focus on design collaboration and visioning for strategies and introducing students to careers in environmental sciences, engineering, and design. and there is no cash match or in-kind services required for this grant.
All right, any questions? Councillor Brochman.
One question. Don't get me wrong, because I'm asking this question, I'm going to vote for it. But, you know, we all watch the news. We all saw what happened down south in Carolina with the heavy rain. Now, the places that get affected were places that were out in the woods and everything else. So I was just wondering, with all this fancy words that they're using and what they want to build, how is that going to really help us if we get a rainstorm like they did down south? I mean, really, think about it. I mean, it's going to flood.
Right, but John Fitch is one of our lower lying areas.
Yes, I understand that.
And generally, when we do have bad flooding, the road does tend to flood.
Further down the road.
Right, but if some of that water is captured and doesn't run off in the first place, it's less impact. It won't make no impact. It won't necessarily keep, why am I drawing a blank on the name of the street? Beach Street from washing out again, but it will help keeping the John Fitch corridor drivable during a heavy rain event.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm going to vote. I just sometimes I wonder about some of these grants and that. I mean, I don't, if they show me it's actually going to work. I mean, you're talking about Coolidge. You're up at Coolidge. You're talking about the Wallace Civic Center, and it's all downhill from there. And Coolidge Park is the low end. So if they put cutouts in, it goes into Coolidge. She wants to talk.
No.
May I?
Go right ahead.
So I was peripherally involved with this in a very early stage. My understanding is that if we can make some improvements to the storage capacity where Baker Brook is earlier, where Coolidge Park is, then there'll be less flooding that makes its way through Baker Brook down to the other parts of John Fitch Highway. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. No, I just was wondering. Just always wondered.
No, it's a fair question, Councillor. Councillor Cruz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Director Murphy, is this part of the National River Watersheds involvement as well? Or is that, because I know it's the same grant?
I think the watershed had some involvement with a different grant, same type of grant, MVP.
Yeah.
But they were working on some different activities. But I think that some of their input and recommendations may have led to some of the ideas that came about for this particular grant.
I see.
So we've had many MVP grants. We've been very fortunate with the MVP grants. They're feeding off each other to some degree.
So this money here is in addition to the news we just got regarding the new MVP grants and the environmental justice grant?
That I'm not sure about.
Okay.
The one that the National River Watershed Association received, that was a $500,000 grant. So
Right.
That's definitely not this. That was an earlier one.
Okay, yeah, because that was a 3-year period grant, so I wasn't sure if we were getting this portion now and then more in the future.
No, I think this is separate from that.
This is separate. Well, that's even better news. Just wanted to make sure we shouted out the National River Watershed for their work.
Absolutely.
In working with this, as well as the DPW and Community Development and Newview. Yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion we accept. Oh,
Just one moment,
sorry.
please. Councillor Walsh?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think that this is a good idea. I mean, I think if you can do the mitigation, early when there's no problem, then, that's kind of the purpose of it, right? So, I yield the floor.
Thank you very much.
Make a motion that we accept.
Second.
I have a motion and second. And if there is no objection, it passes unanimously. 18824, the City of Fitchburg hereby approves the expenditure of grant funds from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Community Compact Grant Program in the approximate amount of $50,000 to develop a multi-year paving management plan. Director Murphy?
As the letter states, we just received this through the Community Compact. My understanding, so our office applied for the grant and received the grant. It will really be DPW that we'll be working with to undertake this activity. So I want to defer to DPW. We don't have the entire process worked out yet. We'll be procuring the services and potentially equipment But my understanding is it will be developing a pavement management plan that will be looking at both prioritizing roads to pave, but also looking at how to maintain our roads for a longer period once we do pave, crack sealing and things of that sort.
Councilor Boschman.
Nothing against the grant, nothing at all against the grant. But I thought we had a paving program already established in the city of Fitchburg. That's number one. I also believe, since I've been on the council, like all of you, that underneath the Lenny Lasco, they used to try to do seal cracking. That was number two. I mean, I get nothing against it. I'll take a grant. It's not costing us nothing. But, if we don't have money to do things, to pay, to fix the cracks, if we don't have any money to do that, sometimes I wonder if we're just taking money just to say we got money, but we don't have money down the road to seal this crack right here or to pave the proper way. And my question is, because I know we're trying to get it out of politics, how are we going to determine which roads get paved and which roads don't? If you only get 10 cars in the country that are being paved, and the others, and Main Street, you got 100,000 cars, but we picked the 10 roads in that 10-car country road to get paved.
So, Councillor, unless there's something specific, do you have a...
What I would say is that this plan would help us make those determinations.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the goal here is specifically to get expert consultants to help us determine that process so that it's efficient and fair and, maximizes our money. And I can also say they definitely are already doing some crack sealing because I drive along Pine Street every day to take Miriam to school, and just last week they were spraying and doing whatever else it is that they do with arcane potions and whatnot to make the road last a little longer.
Well, I just want to tell you this, I don't think we need an expert to tell us which roads are bad. Just drive them. My car's already broken again, and I got to pay $600 Friday.
Sure, but then wouldn't we be at the mercy of which roads Councillor Boschman drives on most often?
That's all of them.
Any other questions, comments?
No.
Councillor Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gentleman to my right brought it up. I thought we had a pavement management plan in the works already, or?
I can't answer that question. I don't know if we have a pavement management plan already in the works, but this is funding that could be added to it if we have it. I'm not aware of an existing plan. I do recall.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I do recall years ago under Commissioner Laxo, there was some movement, and I just don't remember where it left off, about inventorying the pavement at that time. I don't know if it was software that we used, or I apologize. I am not able to answer all of these very specific DPW questions.
It's not your department. No. I understand it. I was just wondering.
I think what we have at the moment, I may be wrong, but to the best of my recollection of the last time I talked with Commissioner Erickson about this, we have a pavement quality index that sort of ranks the streets according to which ones are the worst, but it doesn't actually tell us anything more than that. It doesn't tell us, there are still judgment calls that are being made sort of on the spot or by the individuals regarding, well, this one's worse than this one, but this other one that's not quite as bad gets used a lot more, so let's do it first, and so on. So I think the aim, my understanding of the aim anyway, would be to take all of those factors and consolidate them, whereas right now all we have is a list of which ones are in the worst condition.
And the community compact grant, that's the language of the grant is specific for a pavement plan?
Yes.
I see. I guess, Mr. President, I get a lot of concerns from constituents who feel that we do a fair amount of planning and studies and not enough implementation. And so I'm wondering, I'm going to accept it, of course, but I don't know. I don't have a thought to finish. I yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. I've had those thoughts myself, Councillor. We'll see how it goes, but Councillor Walsh?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with my fellow councillors. I think that sometimes we, develop a plan, gets put on a shelf and nothing happens. I don't think that's going to happen in this case because
Top of
I
mind.
think everyone is ready for the roads to be fixed. And I think that this plan, having somebody else come in and say, not only is this the order, but this is how we do this, and this is what we're doing, and, I think it's a more comprehensive look at what we're doing and how to do it.
I believe so.
I yield the floor.
Councillor Cruz?
I think I got the end of my thought. Thank you, Mr. President. I guess it just comes down to, sort of what the gentleman to my right said about shouldn't maybe we be using this money to just put it into the roads? Can we just use the money into the roads? It has to be used.
The community compact doesn't give us the option to do that kind of work. It's basically plans.
Because
That's
I
what
would
they
almost prefer to see more striping and more potholes filled and just, or 50,000, it's an employee, right? You could, give or take, employee for
You
the
can go from here
DPW.
to there.
We can't do that with these.
So this is one of those instances where the state sort of dictates what we have to do this. So
Correct. This is what we applied for, so this is the only thing we can spend the money on. But they wouldn't allow any of these types of community compact funds to be spent on construction. That's just not what the community compact is all about.
mm-hmm. Thank you for clarifying. I yield the floor. Motion to approve 188-24.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. If there is no objection, it is unanimously approved. 189-24. City of Fitchburg hereby approves the expenditure of grant funds from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Community Compact Grant Program in the approximate amount of $40,000 to develop a capital improvement plan.
So this is another plan from the same source, but I will tell you, I think this one actually is quite important. We don't have a capital improvement plan, yet there are all sorts of different funding sources that are around greening and energy efficiency that we could be tapping into if we had a capital improvement plan and we could start picking these things off. So this one I feel really confident about is going to be an extremely useful tool. So I believe our intention would be we would procure services to come up with the plan, but I think part of that would be creating a team that looks, in order to do this, we'd have to create a team of different departments that have some role in our actual building facilities to help develop that plan.
Councillor Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we don't have a CIP plan right now, but we had one. Did we complete or put everything into action for the previous one?
So it was my understanding that we didn't have one. I haven't seen it.
President Zarella, you can clarify.
I'm sorry to keep interjecting, but there was a capital improvement commission, and I sat on one meeting of it. It only met once during the time that that I've been around. It basically amounted to a list of capital improvement needs that got updated periodically, and sort of a very vague ranking of these are the ones we think are really important and these ones can wait for a while. Mm-hmm. So it was, to the extent that it ever existed, because like I said, we met once, it was certainly better than no plan at all, but it was not really an actionable plan that could be put into play step by step. It was more just let's make sure we basically know what we have. So,
thank you. I yield the floor.
Well,
Councilor Boschman?
to talk about what you just said, we do have a plan, because that's how we get City Hall going. On that, City Hall was running on the plan, and there were other things too on the plan, because I remember, and they had a committee, and they picked which ones they thought. I'm all in favor of it if it's going to help us out a lot. And
It'll
I'm
be
in
great.
favor of energy saving things.
If that plan is still relatively current, it would be great to be able to take that and feed that into the more comprehensive plan. At least we're not starting from scratch.
Make a motion we accept.
Second?
I have a motion and second to accept. Any objections? Seeing none, it is unanimously approved. 19024, City of Fitchburg hereby approves the expenditure of grant funds from Massachusetts Department of Transportation Shared Streets and Spaces Grant Program in the approximate amount of $246,816.56 to create a formal shared use path along Railroad Street to a future pedestrian bridge.
So this is the rail trail connector. So this will connect the end of the existing rail trail at 5th Street through Railroad Street, then to the bridge that will be built that will go over the train tracks and the river over to the Mart building. So this is that connector piece.
Councillor Boschman.
Liz, I just want to verify, make sure that I'm on the same page as everybody else. The city is not going to maintain this, right? It's all going to be the volunteers?
Well, this is going to be on street. So this section here, the city will be responsible for maintaining because it's really on the street. It's a shared use path on the street on Railroad Street.
Right. Well, how about the bridge?
The Rail Trail Association in general is being is maintaining the rail trail. So they have some of their own equipment out there to do maintenance and lawn mowing and things like that. They have a shed that they put up, store all of it. They're a very active group. They meet regularly.
Okay.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Second. Oh, sorry.
On the motion?
Yep. I just have a question.
Oh, question?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Thank you.
Councillor Cruz, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do we have, how are we determining, I'm really excited about the rail trail. I use it all the time. My wife and I use it frequently. And I'm excited to see it get expanded. Do we have any sort of data on the way to determine the economic impact of the rail trail?
What on the way?
Data?
Data. No, we don't have any data related to the economic impact. It'd be a great thing to
Thank you.
have.
I yield the floor.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. If there is no objection, it is unanimously approved. 19124, City of Fitchburg hereby approves the expenditure of grant funds from Massachusetts Department of Culture and Recreation Mass Trails Grant Program in the approximate amount of $78,005 to improve a section of the trail at the summit of Rollstone Hill and to install rock walk signage.
So this is funding that came from Mass Trails, and it's actually a group of volunteers that are doing most of the work, but there is some cost to that work, and it was actually a few folks that came to our office and said, we want to do this, we need somebody to apply on our behalf, but we will coordinate all of the work, and they have a group of conservation, it's not conservation stewards, but it's a conservation volunteers, Conservation Corps, that's what they're called, Conservation Corps, that will be helping with this. My understanding is that this is making some improvements on the trail, including setting some more of the granite stairs to really refine that trail, and then just informational signage along the trail. So part of the rock walk,
Make a motion.
which is really a treasure of Fitchburg's.
Absolutely. I have a motion and second. If there is no objection, it is unanimously approved. 19224, City of Fitchburg hereby approves the expenditure of funds from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities 40R Smart Growth Program in the approximate amount of $321,000 for Lowe Park and other activities and city improvements.
So these funds come from the bonus units that were created as a result of us passing the smart growth zoning area, and that was for Morin Square Apartments and the Fitchburg Arts Community, formerly BF Brown. So that's the source of this $321,000, and 150 of that has been committed to Lowe Park. So the remaining is not committed. Our intention is to reserve this for if we, in our process of addressing the paying for parking again, any systems that we need to acquire, so the money will be used for that. Also, if we may end up buying a system for 40U, a software system, that's what we would use the remaining, because 150 is only a part of the 321. So the rest is not actually formally committed to anything.
Okay. Councillor Walsh?
When you say parking, again, what?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. So internally, the city is looking to bring back paid parking. I think we heard that after the budget hearings, right? So there's going to be some capital needs that will go into that process. So we're in a planning process for that now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor Boschman?
Two things. You mentioned the city going back to pay parking. I have no problem about going back to pay parking as long as we should give at least a half an hour and then after that go for free down on Main Street. But that's another story for another time. My question to you is on that smart growth funds. Are we going to use any of the money for beautification of the Main Street or Lunenburg Street area going down?
I can't answer that question. I can certainly take suggestions, though.
All right.
I think what my intention would be with these funds is that to hold on to the remaining, to see what we need to make those investments to get paid parking back, to make 40U work smoothly, and other systems that we might need to make the city run more efficiently before we start putting it into beautification.
Now, you talked about Lowe Playground. I remember we had a big controversy over the land up there, parkland versus everything else. And I thought, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that Newville was going to help out on this, and they were going to donate some money towards Lowe Playground.
I was not a part of those conversations. My understanding is we committed this out of the 150 out of the BF Brown's bonus units for that. There's really there's no extra funds in the BF Brown project. I mean, it took them 10 years to get the money that they needed. So they certainly, we would have been waiting a little bit longer if they had to come up with another 150 to be able to do work at Lowe Playground. But the net effect is that these funds, which really did come from the bonus units at that project, are able to be used for the playground.
I understand that, but I was really under the impression when we all had, when we weren't on the council then, that we had the meetings, that they got up and talked and they said they were going to make beautifications there. I really thought that was going to be what they were doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't attend those meetings, so I can't speak to this.
I think it's been a while, so I may not be recalling properly, but I think that the discussion was around the fact that that beautification of the area around Lowe Park would be a natural part and parcel of the Fitchburg Arts Community Project, which it will. Will have it won't be Lowe Park itself so much as the area around it, which currently, or not currently, I've been over there, it looks quite nice, but prior to the commencement of the project was an untended parking lot around a burnt out school. So
I understand what you're saying, Mr. President, but I thought when they came up to us with a design, because they wanted to move the ball field, they had a design for it all, that they were going to move the ball field and do different things in their plan, in their scope of things. And that was one of when they were trying to get the land from us, that was one of the things they mentioned. That's why we gave them, well, one of the reasons why they gave them, because I didn't vote for it, but that's why we gave it to them, because the beautifications of what they wanted to do, move the ballpark and do different other things. I could be wrong. Been wrong before many times, but I'm just surprised.
I can tell you that
What?
I can tell you that New View Communities has been very actively and continues to be actively engaged in making sure that something happens at Lowe Park. As a matter of fact, I just met with one of their community organizers last week, or the week before, about next steps to try to move forward with some plans to do beautification. So they're engaged. I just don't know that they're monetarily engaged.
Yeah, all right. I'll use the floor, but I just want to make sure that they do help out too. We gave them a lot, and we give them a lot of
Well,
times.
they help out a lot.
Well, and they're right back in our house to get a tax rebate too, because they say they're overpaying. So I just want to make that known too. So, all right, go ahead, make a motion.
Councilor Cruz?
Sorry.
I think Mr. Newview Communities and Mr. Doan in particular have been terrific partners for the city of Fitchburg, and I make a motion to approve 186-24.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and second.
I accept that. I accept that.
Is there any objection? No. Seeing none, it is unanimously approved, and that concludes our business for the evening.
Motion adjourned.
Adjourn.
I have a motion and second to
apologize for being
adjourn,
late.
and
I
we
was
are
kinda-
adjourned.
You should have called me.